good morning and a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of the Consulate General of India as we celebrate 76th Independence Day on 15th August 2022. We will begin the program today by hoisting of the national flag, followed by singing of the national anthem and reading the message of Honorable President of India, Ms. Draupadi Murmu, by our Consul General. Dear sir, I request you to come on stage and hoist the flag, please.
Ananaya Jaya Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Kavira Uttal Ganga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchal Jaladi Taranga Tab Shubha Name Jage
Namaste everybody and happy Independence Day. It is really good to be able to gather like this again after 2 years when we had to kind of celebrate it online. So it's a real pleasure to be here this morning. Every year on the 15th of August, Indians all over the world celebrate our Independence Day. On this day in 1947, India was declared a free country after years of struggle by our freedom fighters. This year is extra special because it's we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of our independence. On 12th of March 2021 last year, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji launched the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to commemorate 75 years of our independence. The Amrit Mahotsav is an initiative by the Government of India to celebrate 75 years of progressive India and the glorious history of our people, our culture, and our achievements. The launch of the Amrit Mahotsav in March 2021 was the start of a 75-week countdown to celebrate our 75th anniversary of independence, which culminates today, the 15th of August 2022. In association with friends and associations all over the 4 states of Germany, the Consulate has been organizing many events and programs celebrating this momentous occasion. And the celebrations will continue for another 1 year till 15th of August 2023 next year. On this day, we remember the great heroes, the freedom struggles, the freedom fighters who struggled for our independence, such as Mahatma Gandhi ji, Jawaharlal Nehru, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Vallabhbhai Patel, and many others. It is thanks to their sacrifice that we achieved our freedom and become what we are today. The first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, unveiled the Indian national flag at the Red Fort in Delhi on 15th of August 1947. And continuing in the same tradition, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji this morning at the same place unfurled the national flag, which was followed by our national anthem, Jana Gana Mana. Many of you would be aware that Hamburg holds a very special place in the history of our national freedom struggle and as well as for the national anthem of India. This was composed by the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore, and it was in the city of Hamburg that the national anthem was first played in 1942 by the Radio Symphony Orchestra of Hamburg. The occasion was also graced by the personal presence of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose here in this great city of Hamburg. So it is indeed a privilege and also an honor to be able to gather here today in this city of Hamburg on this momentous occasion of the 75th anniversary of our independence, where the national anthem was first played. I will now read the Honorable Rashtrapati Ji Srimati Draupadi Murmu's message on the eve of our Independence Day. My dear fellow citizens, Namaskar. My heartiest greetings to all Indians living in the country and abroad on the eve of the 75th Independence Day. I'm delighted to address you on this momentous occasion. India is completing 75 years as an independent nation. 14th August is observed as Partisan Horrors Remembrance Day, so as to promote social harmony, unity and empowerment of the people. Tomorrow marks the day when we had freed ourselves from the shackles of colonial rulers and decided to reshape our destiny. As all of us celebrate the anniversary of that day, we bow to those men and women who made enormous sacrifices to make it possible for us to live in a free India. It is a cause of celebration not only for all of us, but also for every advocate of democracy around the world. When India won independence, there were many international leaders and experts who were skeptical about the success of democratic form of government in India. They had their reasons to be doubtful. In those days, democracy was limited to economically advanced nations, and India, after so many years of exploitation at the hands of foreign rulers, was marked by poverty and illiteracy. But we Indians proved the skeptics wrong. Democracy not only grew roots in this soil, it was also enriched. In most other well-established democracies, women had to wage long-drawn struggles to get the right to vote. But in India, we adopted universal adult franchise right since the beginning of the Republic. Thus, the makers of modern India enabled each and every adult citizen to participate in the collective process of nation building. Thus, India can be credited to have helped the world discover the true potentials of democracy. I believe this was not a coincidence. At the beginning of civilization, saints and seers of this land had developed a vision of humanity that was defined by the equality of all. Indeed, oneness of all. The great freedom struggle and its leaders like Mahatma Gandhi rediscovered our ancient values for modern times. Then it is no wonder our democracy has Indian characteristics. Gandhiji advocated decentralization and power to the people. For 75 weeks now, the nation has been commemorating these noble ideals that won our freedom. In March 2021, we began the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav with the reenactment of the Dandi March. This way, our celebrations began with a tribute to the watershed event which had put our struggle on the world map. This festival is dedicated to the people of India. Based on the success achieved by the people, the resolve to build Atmanirbhar Bharat is also a part of this Mahotsav. Citizens from all age groups have keenly participated in a series of events held across the country. This grand festival is going ahead with the Har Ghar Tiranga Abhiyan. The Indian tricolors are fluttering in every nook and corner of the country. Great martyrs would have been thrilled to see the spirit of the independence movement coming alive again on such a massive scale. Our glorious freedom struggle was waged bravely across the vast territory of our country. Many great freedom fighters did their duty and passed on the torch of awakening. leaving little trace of their heroic deeds. Forgotten for long were many heroes and their struggles, especially among the peasants and tribal populations. The government's decision last year to observe 15th November as Jana Jatiya Gaurav Divas is a welcome development because our tribal heroes are not merely local or regional icons, but they inspire the entire nation. Dear citizens, for a nation, particularly an ancient one such as India, the passage of 75 years is merely a blink of an eye. But for us as individuals, it is a lifetime. Senior citizens among us have witnessed the dramatic change in our lifetime. They have seen how, after independence, all the generations have toiled hard, how we met great challenges, and how we have taken charge of our destiny. The lessons learned in the process will prove useful as we move towards the next milestone in the journey of our nation, the Amrit Kal, the 75 years to the celebration of the centenary of our independence. By the year 2047, we will have fully realized the dreams of our freedom fighters. We will have given a concrete shape to the vision of those who, led by Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, drafted the Constitution, and we are already on course to build an Atmanirbhar Bharat, an India that would have realized its true potential. The world has seen a new India rising in recent years, more so after the outbreak of COVID-19. Our response to the pandemic has been appreciated everywhere. We launched the biggest vaccination drive in human history with vaccines manufactured in the country itself. Last month, we crossed the 200 crore mark in cumulative vaccine coverage. In combating the pandemic, our achievements have been better than those of many developed countries. For this feat, we are grateful to our scientists, doctors, nurses, paramedics, and the staff associated with the vaccination. The pandemic has uprooted lives and also economies in the entire world. When the world has been battling the economic consequences of the great crisis, India got its act together and is now moving forward. India is among the fastest growing major economies in the world. India's startup ecosystem ranks high in the world. The success of startups in our country, especially the growing number of unicorns, is a shining example of our industrial progress. The government and policy makers deserve credit for beating the global trend and helping the economy flourish. During the last few years, unprecedented progress has been made in the development of physical and in digital infrastructure. During the Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti Yojana, all the modes of connectivity based on water, land, and air, etc., are being integrated into the whole country to enable seamless transportation across the whole country. For the vibrancy of growth visible in our country, credit must also be given to workers and farmers whose hard work has made it possible, and entrepreneurs whose business acumen has created wealth. What is all the more heartening is that the growth is becoming more inclusive and regional disparities are reducing. But this is only the beginning. A series of economic reforms and policy initiatives have been preparing the ground for a long term. Digital India, for example, is creating the bedrock of a knowledge economy. The national education policy is aimed at preparing the future generation for the next stage of industrial revolution while also reconnecting it with our heritage. Economic success is leading to an ease in living too. Economic reforms are rightly accompanied by innovative welfare initiatives. A home of one's own is no longer a dream for the poor, but a reality for more and more people, thanks to the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Similarly, under the Jal Jeevan Mission, tap water connection is being provided to every household since the launch of the Har Ghar Jal scheme. The aim of this and many other similar efforts to provide basic amenities to all, particularly to the poor. The key word for India today is compassion for the downtrodden, for the needy, and for those on the margins. Some of our national values have been incorporated into our Constitution as the fundamental duties of the citizens. I appeal to every citizen to know about their fundamental duties and follow them in letter and spirit so that our nation reaches new heights. Dear citizens, at the core of the transformation we have been witnessing in healthcare, education, economy, as well as a number of related areas is the stress on good governance. When work is done with the spirit of nation first, it is bound to reflect in every decision and every sector. This is also reflected in India's standing in the world. India's newfound confidence stems from the spirit of its youth, its farmers, and above all, its women. Gender inequalities are reducing and women are moving ahead, breaking many glass ceilings. Their increasing participation in social and political processes will prove decisive. At the grassroots level, we have more than 14 lakh elected women representatives in the Panchayati Raj institutions across the country. Our daughters are the biggest hope for the nation. Some of them brought laurels to the country at the recently held Commonwealth Games. Of course, India's sportspersons have been making the country proud by their performance in international competitions. A large number of our winners come from underprivileged segments of society. From becoming fighter pilots to space scientists, our daughters are scaling great heights. Dear citizens, in celebrating Independence Day, we are celebrating our Bharatanatyam. Our country is full of diversity, but at the same time, we all have something in common. It is this common thread which binds us all together and inspires us to walk together with the spirit of Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. India is a very beautiful country also because of its mountains, rivers, lakes, and forests, and the animals and birds that live in such landscapes. When the environment is facing new challenges, we must remain determined to preserve all that makes India beautiful. Conserving water, soil, and biodiversity is our duty towards our children. Caring for Mother Nature has been part and parcel of Indian culture. With our traditional lifestyle, we Indians can show the way to the rest of the world. Yoga and Ayurveda are India's invaluable gifts to the world. Their popularity is on the rise all over the globe. Dear fellow citizens, our beloved country has given us everything we have in our life. We should pledge to give everything we can for the sake of safety, security, progress, and prosperity of our country. Our existence will become meaningful only in building a glorious India. The great nationalist poet Kuvempu, who enriched Indian literature through Kannada language, had written, Nanu alive, Ninu alive, Namma elubugal mele, Muduvudu, Nava Bharatda Lile, which means, I will pass, so will you. But on our bones will arise the great tale of a new India. This is a clarion call for the nationalist poet for making total sacrifice for the motherland and the upliftment of our fellow citizens. To follow these ideals is my special appeal to the youth of the country who are going to build the India of 2047. Before I conclude, I would like to extend Independence Day greetings to the armed forces, to the members of Indian missions abroad, and to the Indian Diaspora who continue to make their motherland proud. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We get on with our cultural program. First, I would like to welcome